it's the end of turn 2, and we have a situation around Oslo. The Germans have moved in 6 junker squadrons here, which brought in 2 supply units with them. They left their boat planes in the port here in preparation for turn 3. The rest of the mountain division is going to stage in to the ports around here, and they hope to carry a unit up to Narvik. Well, they hoped to. I'll get to that in a minute. The rest of the 214th Division came on, so that headquarters there is carrying all of these and 4 or 5 supply units there. More of the 214th moved up to block here, and in their turn the Norwegians replied to that. Then over here what we had was 69th headquarters moved into combat, and unit there, I think it was, moved into combat, so the 69th actually took out yes, no, sorry, it was here. So, okay, this one attacked here, inconclusive, no effect. And the 69th actually took out the first headquarters and the heavy machine gun unit with it, which also had 3, terrible mistake, I'd left 3 of the truck units with that, and then there was the aircraft counter. The aircraft counter tried to flee because that's the airfield underneath there, didn't make it, so that resulted in that whole stack of Norwegian units being lost. That succeeded because we had the Stukas here that had staged into Denmark with their 3 tactical combat factor, so they had delivered 2 hits, one upon the headquarters and one upon the heavy machine gun unit there, so they were disrupted in at half odds. We didn't succeed in that. No, in fact, I didn't send one against that. Then these Heinkels, they managed to knock out a CLA unit. That's what that hit marker represents, which had been covering the port. So in the Norwegian turn, the airfield, this one moved over to there. This port's still interdicted. This port's still interdicted. Yes, and up here the Germans just there was no movement. They just held their line. So in the Norwegian turn, the Norwegians have moved up. They sort of formed a solid line here, and they're moving this mountain troop back, goes to this port, because then they can move him around via sea from one port to an adjacent port. Trondheim, we have a headquarters still there. The mountains units coming down through here, and then these units came down motorised, and this was a bit a German mistake as well, is that they had left Halden unoccupied, although they had control of this hex, and so the reinforcement, this came on as a reinforcement, and this one came on as a reinforcement within 7 hexes of Oslo. I chose to put it here, so they're holding these 2 ports on this side, so the Norwegians this side of the water here, so the Germans will not be able to stage any units there. They'll have to stage units into here and work around, and you can see the Norwegians are forming a cordon, which is made easier by the fact that you see these river hex sides, or a fjord or something, hex sides there, impassable. So there's the only way through is there, and then here they're guarding in front of the river line there. The backstop here, they're blocking this area so that there's no quick sort of entry up through the mountains, so the Norwegians do have this. This headquarters moved down from here, preparation to try and block movement up there. And like I say, this is protected by interdiction. And another great triumph of the Allied forces is that they sent in their NBs. These are night bombers with night fighter cover. It wasn't necessarily night fighter cover because Germans have nothing to counter the night bombers. And with their tactical bombing factors, they actually took out one of these. So that is a bit of a disaster because you need 3 to carry a battalion. And I'd sacrificed one of these in the initial invasion which enabled the landing on this airfield. It didn't. Perhaps it was that airfield, but anyway, it was sacrificed. It was lost, and I thought I could do without it because I still had 3. I've forgotten about the night bombers. I didn't really use them the last game. And on a 5 or 6, they haven't got a lot of factors, but on a 5 or 6 they get a hit, and they got a hit. So they took out one squadron of those. So there will be no immediate staging of mountain battalions next turn. Otherwise they could have immediately straight up to Narvik, landed in the port. So what the Germans will have to do is they'll have to start reinforcing Narvik with companies. Fortunately they also have all these artillery companies moving in. They'll have to go up 2 at a time in there. So it's a shame, but not an utter disaster. It will be if those are knocked out too soon as well. So the Germans are going to have to do something about these squadrons, and they've still only got the one airfield, and they brought supplies with it. So next, maybe they would have been more advisable to stage up some Messerschmitts. They've now got these came in on this turn, so they've now got even more fighters. You see these with a 7 air-to-air attack factor. And Stuka bombers here. Yes. So there's Junkers 88s there. These are the Stuka dive bombers. They are now available. So they're going to have to bring in some air here, take that out. So that is the end of the second turn. The Allies have brought in all of these. Oh, I forgot these. Okay, they've got Bomber Command, and the Furious has come on board. So that Furious could actually attack this turn. I'll have to sort that out. Okay, so I opted to bring in some of the reinforcements here. Anti-aircraft unit just for added protection, and some Marines have landed there at Harstad just to make sure that's kept open, or at least try and keep that open for that transit there. Then all the way down the coast I have some decisions to make. So we've got the Furious, which has 2 fairly swordfish squadrons on, so they're not amazing, but they have 2 tactical combat factors which would give a 1 in 3 chance of disrupting a unit. So really they're sort of needed if I'm going to have an allied attack this turn. Although I'd sort of let the Norwegians go last, so they could perhaps attack here. There could be perhaps a counter-attack here, but okay, I'm not sure. I'm undecided. The other thing is I have 2 regimental equivalents British units, so that's quite strong. We got the Guards there on the left, and the 148th here. So I think so they can come in on any port now at the beginning of the turn. So these were not held at the beginning of the turn. Anyway, they couldn't come behind this line because of the German control of that zone. I'm thinking putting the Guards unit here to try and keep that air base, and then by reinforce that airbase from the Germans. I think we're going to have to leave those two to the Germans, although it might be worth trying for a counterattack here. No, I don't think so, because the 69th is very strong. So anyway, then that leaves the other one, the 148th. Where do I put them? There doesn't seem very useful. I could perhaps put them here, or even here, and then they can move down here. But here would be good, because that can heavily reinforce that, and that would be difficult to crack. Trondheim's not threatened, so they're not needed there. We have on turn 3 just a few reinforcements. On turn 3 we get a French in another British headquarters and their depots. So Trondheim's fine. So that's it. It's fairly obvious what I should do. So the guards will come in here now. The British, the Allied depots do not move. The French can move their supply counters. These are actual depots that do not move. Now the Allies can't move in their turn when they come on, so there's no movement there. And that is going to be here. Okay, so the point of that is that there's no airfield or anything, but the point is that the Germans need to have that to claim the victory points for this area, or at least deny them to the Allies. So that's going to be a tough nut to crack coming through here. So that's just a sort of purely defensive holdout position. This one is to guard the airfield and keep the 214th busy to prevent them moving further up, taking these portions. So then that leaves the Furious. Seeing as I don't think I would have mounted any attacks. It's a bit of a wasted opportunity because the Furious is withdrawn the next turn, but they do have the Fairy Swordfish. I'm going to put him here. So if any German planes move up, i.e. those seaplanes, those Swordfish could. Can they go out and intercept? Can I place that there? I don't know. I think that's the only option I have. I'll have to check the rules on that if that does anything. I think I'd have to... No, I think that aircraft carrier would have to be in an all-sea hex. Yeah, well, let me just check that. Yes, but I had to have the Furious about there to stage those up, so that the Furious sort of comes in there as a reinforcement from Bomber Command. That is too far for these to reach. So I could have put them on the Furious, and then they could have flown air interceptions. That's around here. I could put them at these airfields, but then they're easily bombed on the ground or attacked by the fighters there. So I think at the moment I am going to keep them off. It's a difficult one for the Allies because their air forces are so badly outnumbered, but what I have to find, I think the key is going to be using them from an aircraft carrier far out at sea